Tune into the Salsa Kings Network. Crack one open if you dare, creeps.
ABC Wednesdays.
Y'all complain all day. We want books. We want paper towels in the classroom. Bet you want raises, too.
I'm still waiting on the paper towels.
Abbott Elementary returns with the new season.
We asked the district for more after-school programs. They gave us $50 for class pets instead.
Critics cheer. Abbott Elementary continues to be one of the funniest and most beloved shows on TV.
What y'all doing out there?
Taking bribes.
Proud of y'all.
Abbott Elementary, Wednesdays, 9:30, 8:30 Central on ABC and stream on Hulu.
Angeles! Spike! I'll be damned!
I taught you to always guard your perimeter. You should have someone out there.
I did. I'm surrounded by idiots. What's new with you?
Everything.
Yeah? Come up against this Slayer yet?
She's cute. Not too bright, though. Gave the puppy dog a more tortured act. Keeps her off my back when I feed.
People still fall for that Anne Rice routine. What a world.
I knew you were lying. Undead liar guy.
Welcome to another episode of Boys Watching Buffy. We're just two boys watching every episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. We are your hosts. I'm Joe Welke.
I am Vance.
And today is a much anticipated episode. It is season 2, episode 3, titled School Hard, directed by John T. Kretschmer. We've got a lot of written by credits here. We got story by Joss Whedon and David Greenwalt, teleplay by David Greenwalt. The original air date was September 29th, 1997, to an audience of 4.86 million people. And this is an episode that we've been waiting for a while. It is the introduction of Spike, a fan favorite.
It's a game-changing episode.
It really is.
This is what people probably think about when they think about Buffy.
Yeah, it elevated the threat.
Yes.
The story.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was just like so well done. Even though there are some there's some stuff going on that it's like, wait, how did that happen?
Mm-hmm.
But it was definitely like Spike is such a more menacing villain than anyone we've seen before.
And charismatic as fuck. Which is what you want. You just want those charismatic villains that you like. You don't like them, but you want to root against them. It's, you
love to hate them.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of stuff going on in this episode. I took 2 full pages of notes, which is usually it's like a page and a half, sometimes less. But this one, lots of stuff, lots of quotes, lots of good stuff going on here. So let's get into it, shall we, Vance?
Let's do it.
All right, so the episode opens up with the principal giving a speech to Buffy and a new girl named Sheila about how he's the judge, jury, and executioner, and he hates principals that want to be buddy-buddy with his students. And he is talking to them because he's trying to figure out who is the worst student in the school.
And I already want to push back that Buffy should not even be in this at all.
Well, she shouldn't be in it at all because he goes down their rap sheets.
Yeah.
And he's like, Sheila, you stabbed a teacher. Buffy, you burned down a gym at your last school. It's like, that's ancient history, sir.
Yeah, this is the second year at this school, and she hasn't done anything.
Yeah.
Anything. She's gone a whole school year.
He basically is like, you burned down your last school, and you are tardy and skip class. It's like she's in competition with the girl that stabbed a teacher.
We just had an episode where 2 dudes were taking body parts and making Frankensteins. There's some bad people in the school.
What about the hyena kids that ate the last principal?
Yeah, they were just, even before they became hyena kids, they were bad.
Yeah, this is insanity. Like, this principal has got to be reprimanded. Like, who's watching the Watchers, you know? Like, he is off. He just has a personal vendetta against Buffy for seemingly no reason other than her quote-unquote permanent record.
Yeah.
But in order to punish these horrible, horrible, horrible students.
He doesn't know people can change.
Yeah. He thinks it would be a great idea to put these 2 students in charge of the parent-teacher conferences, which is something I've never heard of. But like,
insane.
Students are never in charge of that kind of shit.
Two of your worst students are in charge of setting up for the parent-teacher meetings.
Yeah.
No. No.
Like, you think this is going to go well, even if like I guess that he's like trying to get them like some responsibility or put some. I don't know.
He didn't even pair them with like good students or anything. Like, he's just like, hey, you're 2 of the worst students I've ever met in my life. This person might stab you, Buffy.
Yeah.
Good luck. Try making punch for the phone calls to get tables. What?
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like, also, I feel like the parent-teacher conference is number one. Like, the students were never there. Mm-hmm. Like, it was just the parents and the teachers met, and they talk shit about you behind your back, and then they come home and then they, reprimand you or whatever.
Yeah,
but
I can't even remember how that went. I feel like you would take the students like in elementary school, maybe, but not in high school.
So after that scene, Buffy is like talking to Xander about like, I can't believe I'm in charge of this. This sucks. And Xander, they show Sheila as she's leaving school, and she like kisses this like 55-year-old trucker looking guy.
Yeah.
And Xander's like, that's her boyfriend. We're like, what?
Sheila's a wild horse, a wild stallion. You can't. She's just gonna go her own route.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense that she's like a bad student.
Yeah.
But then Buffy brings up like this very salient point that you, Vance, have brought up 1,000 times. Buffy's like, this is such bullshit that I have to go to school. Like, none of the other Slayers in history probably had to go to school, but I have to balance studying with killing vampires. Like, this sucks.
Absolutely. She should be on a special program, like an athlete in college who's taking like lawn maintenance or whatever. Like, she should just be one of those people taking like just the easy classes. Like, everything's pass fail, and everyone
or like homeschool. Like, get homeschooled.
Well, she wants the social aspect, and she needs to be at the school to keep an eye on things. Like, you want to be at school. You want to be at school.
You want to be at the Bronze. That's where you really want to be.
You want to be at the Bronze, but like, going to the school and hanging out with Giles in the library is not that bad.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. It's a great point that Buffy's bringing up. She's like, this is such bullshit.
Yeah. That's insane. She's saving the world.
Yeah. And Xander's like, well, it can't go bad or whatever. And then I didn't know that this was a jinx. Like, Buffy and Willow are like, you just jinxed it. It's going to go horrible now.
Oh, I mean, he absolutely jinxed it. He was like, nothing can go wrong. Like, that's a jinx. Yeah.
So they're all pissed off at him. And then we cut to a sign of Sunnydale. And then 2 seconds later, a car crashes into this sign, rides up onto the lawn. Looks like it's like a 1955 car, like a classic, like Cadillac or something. Steps out of the car, heavy metal music starts playing. Pan up, and we see Spike smoking a cigarette. And that's how you know he's evil.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's got the dun dun dun, dun dun dun, dun 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 dun, dun dun dun.
He gets such a big intro. Such a big intro. I love it.
It was fantastic.
And he goes, so home, sweet home.
Yeah.
So I guess he's from Sunnydale? Or from
the
America? Or the Hellmouth? I have no idea. Is that where vampires come from?
I mean, he's obviously British. He's got a British accent.
He might have picked that up when he was traveling.
Yeah, maybe. One of those things like, he's like, I spent a year abroad in England, so now I'm British.
Yeah, home sweet home is what he says, so we'll figure that out.
Yeah. So then we cut to a bunch of vampires meeting with the Anointed One to talk about who should replace the Master and what should they do now that the Master's gone. And Spike interrupts, and he's like, this is the congregation of all you vampires. Who gives a shit about the Master? I'm here. I heard you got a Slayer problem. I'm here to kill him. And one of the vampires is like, how dare you disrespect the Anointed One like this? I was around since the crucifixion. And Spike is like, if every vampire that claims to be at the crucifixion was actually there, it would have looked like Woodstock there.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I was actually at Woodstock. He's like, it was pretty freaking awesome.
He's talking about tripping off of like drinking some hippie.
Yeah. And then he's like, I don't like to brag. Actually, what am I talking about? I love bragging. I've killed a bunch of Slayers in my time. And if you got a Slayer problem, I'm the person to take care of the Slayer. And the Anointed One is looking at him like, okay, well, maybe you should kill the Slayer then.
The funny thing here is that the Anointed One, he sees the Anointed One. He's like, oh yeah, I've read about you. Who keeps writing these books?
Vampire Weekly.
Like they have, like later Giles is reading about Spike and he has all this information. I'm like, who, like you watchers it got to be more than just Giles. Like, because I haven't seen Giles write anything yet. Yeah,
I was going to say, I wonder if Giles is like the scribe as well. Like
you have to
notes.
Be like, how else would you even know about, MODOK or whatever is dead now because we killed him in a computer? Like, some other watcher that is going to read it and be like, oh, yeah, in Sunnydale, this happened. Like, he's got to be writing all night.
Yeah, Spike is returned. Maybe that's why it looks so disheveled every morning.
Did Giles write about the Anointed One being a child and then mail out pamphlets? That what Spike read.
Yeah, Vampire Digest.
Yeah.
Get it? So then after he's like, I'll kill the Slayer, a lady named Drusilla shows up and she's all weird and creepy and she's like, Spike, where are you, honey? I want to talk to the dolls. And like, just a fucking weirdo.
Yeah, it was hard to tell what was going on with her.
Yeah, she's just talking nonsense. And Spike's like, oh, my darling, blah, blah, blah. Don't worry, you'll be fed soon, whatever. She scares the shit out of the Anointed One, though. And the Anointed One is looking at her like, who is this lady?
Well, then they're like really close to making out. And she like cuts Spike's face and he's like bleeding and she like licks it off.
Yeah.
It's so funny that this is happening. And the Anointed One and the other vampires are just like, wait, this is weird. Like what happens?
Look, we're vampires, but these people are crazy.
We're vampires, and we follow this little kid who's done nothing. Yeah.
Just sitting on a barrel.
Have they never met weird vampires before? I figure most vampires would be weird.
I mean, there was that guy with the claw hands. Like, that guy lived in the sewers.
I mean, these people have lived for hundreds of years. They're just, yeah.
Well, it's also like if Spike has been written about, like, he's a well-known vampire. Like, if you've been around since the crucifixion or whatever, you probably should have heard of Spike.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't think killing Slayers is that hard either. I think I could do it.
Yeah. I mean, I obviously could do it.
Yeah.
Okay. So then Spike basically is like, you got a Slayer problem, I'll kill the Slayer. And then the Anointed One's like, all right, go do that. And he's like, so what's up with this Slayer, though? Is she tough? And everyone's like, oh, yeah, she's real tough. And then it cuts to Buffy combing her hair, and she's like, ow!
Yeah. Just beautiful editing. Beautiful scene transitions.
So the mom comes in while Buffy's combing her hair, and she's like, I got a letter about the parent-teacher conference. How come you didn't tell me about it? And Buffy's like, oh, because, I was gonna, or whatever, some kind of Buffy lie. And then the mom is like, Buffy, what are your teachers going to tell me about you? And she's like, nothing bad. And the mom's like, I don't want to have to restart my life all over again because you burned down a gym. I had to start a new business. I had to start a new life. And it's just like, I'm just disappointed in you.
I wrote down that line, and this line seems like it's worse than the line that the dad said in her fake nightmare dream.
Right?
Like, this one seems more harsh. I don't want to be disappointed in you again.
Yeah.
Which is not something you say to your kid. I don't know. This is like non-parents giving parenting advice. That just seems overly harsh.
It was pretty rough.
And then I had a thought. Did they have to move out of Los Angeles because of this? It seems like you moved to a place that has one school versus a place that has multiple.
Well, it's also like she had to start a new business. Like, you're like an art curator.
What did Buffy burning down a school do to your bit? Like, how well known is the school fire?
Yeah, I don't understand.
That is still like a question.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But that's basically the end of that scene.
Yeah, the great parenting, I guess, at this point. We'll see. It's an interesting episode.
Yeah, great parenting. So then we get to Buffy preparing stuff for the parent-teacher conference. Sheila has shirked her duties, so Willow's helping her and Xander's helping her. And Jenny Calendar and Giles show up, and they're talking about St. Vidge's Day, which is some kind of famous vampire day. I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's the best thing about this episode, is that doesn't matter.
Yeah, no.
They keep talking about this thing that's happening on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Wikipedia page for it, and it's not even mentioned on the Wikipedia page at all.
Oh, no. It's a MacGuffin red herring type situation.
Yeah, it's happening this Saturday. It's St. Vidge's Day. It's a big vampire holiday.
But the PTA thing is Thursday. I don't know what I could do between.
Yeah. So they're talking loudly about this vampire holiday, and the principal overhears it, and Giles tries to cover it up really slyly. He's like, oh, no, you're the slayer. I mean, you're a slave to computers. They're ruining your mind.
I didn't think this guy was close enough to hear them. Because he's been closer to them when they talked about other stuff and didn't hear. He's all the way in the background by the lockers. He just came around the corner.
Yeah.
And it still just looks suspicious that these two teachers keep hanging out with this reckless group of students.
Yeah, it's like, if they're the worst students, why are teachers always hanging out with them, you know?
If Buffy's hanging out with Willow, who's like an A+ student, right?
Mm-hmm.
The librarian from the well-read librarian from overseas, the computer teacher, right? Yeah. And then Xander's like, okay, he's like whatever, your guy friend that's like whatever, kind of average. That group is not the group you go, trouble.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So the principal stumbles over and he's like, I hope that you guys aren't helping Buffy. Why can't they help her? Like,
because she has to learn how to set tables for herself.
So they're like, no, of course. And he's like, well, where's Sheila? Did she blow it off? And Buffy, for some reason, covers for her. She's like, no, she's just getting some more paint from the store. And perfect timing at this exact moment, Sheila stumbles in from a bender, it looks like.
I mean, she looks hung the fuck over, man. She looks like she has no idea where she is. Like, I don't know why you even showed up.
Yeah. So yeah, and then Buffy basically just covers for her, and the principal's like, all right, well, you two, you better not ruin this parent-teacher conference.
Yeah. The beginning of this scene also had Buffy saying, hey, Willow, I need you to help teach can we do some tutoring or whatever? And they say, I thought we were going to go to the Bronze. She's like, I don't know. She's like, Angel might be there. She's like, oh, well, he can wait. And he's like, he might meet some girl. Well, maybe we have to go to the Bronze.
Yeah.
I'm like, how are they still having this? Like, if you two want to date, just date.
Yeah. Well, it's also like when she brings up that Angel's going to be at the Bronze, Xander's like, no, we should go to the Bronze. Like, it's like, he should probably do. She's like, no, you really need to focus on this parent-teacher thing. She's like,
yeah. Like, at this point, everyone knows where they stand.
Yeah.
Buffy doesn't like you. She likes Angel. Angel likes Buffy. For some reason, they're not together.
Yeah.
Maybe she doesn't want to hook up with a vampire.
Yeah. I mean, that's a pretty good reason. She's the Slayer. He's a vampire.
It doesn't seem like that's the tension, though.
Yeah. But anyway, so they go to the Bronze. Buffy and Willow are there, and they're studying Spanish in this loud bar environment.
The mom was like, what if I hear something bad, it's going to cut into your time with hanging out with your friends. And like, you never know where Buffy is after dark.
I know. She spent out all night last time, or like a couple of days ago, where she's just like fighting vampires all night long. But yeah, they're out there studying. Buffy is screwing up her Spanish studies, and Willow's correcting her, and Xander comes over and is like, you guys gotta come over and dance. Like, I'm the only one out here dancing. And they're like, all right, we'll go dance. Just leave all their books at a table.
Yeah, no one's stealing those books.
Dude, I would. I'm a book thief, Vance.
You're the bad element that should be in the principal's office.
Yeah. So this whole time, Spike is looming in the background. He's like lurking and like looking around and just kind of looking at them specifically. Mm-hmm. I don't know who gave him the info, like, this is what the Slayer looks like. I'm sure somebody must have. But he's acting like he's suspicious. He's like, I'm not sure exactly who the Slayer is, but I'm sure the Slayer's here.
The Slayer's usually a decent-looking young girl, it seems.
Yeah.
So
Buffy, Xander, and Willow are dancing. Spike is with another vampire, and he goes, hey, go outside and find something to eat. And then that guy leaves, and then Spike, this is a genius plan.
Finally, the vampires are smart. Finally.
I loved this. As soon as he did this, I was like,
yeah,
that's awesome. That's a great plan. So he gets close enough for Buffy, Xander, and Willow to hear, and like also a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And he just goes, oh my God, there's a guy outside, and he's said that he's going to eat some girl. What are we going to do about it? And then Buffy stops dancing and sprints to the exit. So he's like, oh, okay, that's the Slayer.
Yeah, I didn't think of it this way when I was watching it, but a bunch of people should have gone outside.
Absolutely.
He's like, there's a man outside trying to bite some girl. That is what he yelled in a crowded place. And no one ran out.
Yeah, except for Buffy. Everyone else is just like, man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Let her deal with it.
That's the Bronze. That happens every week.
I don't know. Maybe she's into it. I don't know.
She knew better than to go outside.
That reminds me of like this Bill Burr bit about like he was on the subway and heard some lady screaming like, ow, let go of my neck. Let go of my neck. And he's like, that's her problem. She picked him. I'm not getting involved. It's like, maybe she's into that shit. I'm not getting involved. Next thing I know, I'm going to be the one screaming, ow, my neck.
Okay.
So Buffy runs outside. She sees the vampire guy and starts kicking his ass. And Xander's like, you need any help? She's like, get me a steak. Kills that vampire, and Spike is like watching from the shadows. And then once she kills him, he's like, so you're the Slayer. And she's like, who are you? It's like, I'm Spike.
I thought it was amazing that he was there. Like that he because the guy calls out Spike. He's like, Spike, help me. And you're like, oh wow. Yeah. Oh, she's gonna find out who he is. They're meeting face to face. This is early in the episode. I was like, this is they're not like putting anything off.
Yeah, when he's like, Spike, help me, like Buffy looks behind her and you can't see Spike because he's like hanging out in the shadows.
Yeah.
And Buffy's like, what? Who's Spike? And then she just kills that guy. And then Spike comes out and is like, I'm the guy that's going to kill you.
Yeah. I have to say, when Xander runs back in, I think we were talking, there's a scene earlier about them talking about making steaks and him whittling steaks. Maybe that's later or maybe that was earlier.
It might be later. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
but what happened?
Xander runs back in to get the steak. I don't know why Buffy just sprinted out there. Well, it makes sense. She's just going to go to action. But he goes back in. He goes into a purse. And in this purse is just a yo-yo, a tampon, and a steak.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was so great. Yeah,
we saw the yo-yo last episode. She loves that yo-yo, man.
That's what our purse looked. That's what's in our purse. It's amazing.
She should get that yo-yo blessed and like do like a whoo, like zip it into the face. That'd be so
God,
dope.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That'd be sick.
Interestingly, here Spike says he's going to kill her, and then we get convenient commercial break. Time jump. When I'm thinking, hey Buffy, stab that dude.
Yeah, that's what I was like.
Like he
just gonna let that guy go?
He just slowly walks away too. It's not like he ran. It's just like, oh, I'm the one that's gonna kill you. And she's like, what? Like, what did you think?
She just watches him walk away.
What did you think the other vampire was doing? Physically trying to kill you. Like, yeah. I get it for the show, but it just seemed really like, if I'm Buffy after what I've been through, if someone says they're gonna kill me, I'm just starting to stab.
Yeah, just throw the steak at him.
Oh, he might catch it. He seems like the vampire that can catch stuff.
Well, I mean, at least try.
Yes.
So we come back from commercial, and Sheila's leaving the bronze with two dudes, Dell and Dylan or something, two D names. She's like, I'm gonna go hook up with these two dudes. Hope you got a Cadillac. You better not lie because I like Cadillacs. Then both of those dudes disappear.
Like, I've never seen vampires this sneaky.
Yeah.
Without
a sound, too.
No sound, yeah.
Well, I guess Angel last episode scared Buffy.
Yeah, but, like, I don't think he could have, like, taken out two dudes.
Yeah. But Spike does, and then Sheila turns around and she's like, where'd those two dudes go? And Spike's like, don't worry about them. Those are guys who are losers. You could be with me. I'm Spike. And she's like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. She's like, done and done.
Yeah. So then they're like, leave together. And then we get a scene where the good gang kind of debriefs about Spike. Angel shows up. And he's like, oh, Spike's here. That's not good news. And then Buffy, in her infinite... This is just so horrible to me. Angel shows up and he's like, so I thought you weren't going to the bronze tonight, Buffy. And she's like, well, I said that I was maybe going to go. And he's like... And she's like, I was trying to be coy. And Angel's like, well, I thought that you weren't going to go. And then Buffy says something like, or Willow. I don't know if it's Buffy or Willow.
It's both of them, kind of, yeah.
Well, I think it's Buffy, yeah. She goes, man, after 200 years of dating, you'd think that you'd know when a woman's being coy. And then Angel just sort of like, oh, okay. And then Willow goes, man, 200 years of dating. Even if he only had 2 girls a year, that's still 400 girls. And Buffy turns around like, Willow!
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And it's like, wow, okay, sure. I guess we need this teen romance drama here. But I'm like, what is the tension between the two of them now? Like, they should just be dating at this point. Yeah. Like,
they both are into each other.
Yeah, there's like, she doesn't seem like she's like, I'm still not cool with the vampire thing, or I don't want to do this. It's like, hey, I'm giving you signals. And he's like, I don't know. I forgot how to be a guy. Is he a vampire and a guy? he's not as cool as his look would suggest.
No. He's the chinks in his armor are starting to show here.
Yeah.
Especially last episode where we wore that awful khaki.
Or at least
jacket.
he's back in black.
Yeah, that was a mistake. So for some reason, Angel's like, Spike's no good. He's an insane, crazy killer vampire. And then everyone turns around and then they're like, can you tell us more about Spike, Angel? And then Angel has Batman to the gang.
Yeah.
He just disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, oh, okay. You could have been some help. You gave us zero information aside from like, that guy's no good.
That's all Angel does. He has to get past, like, at least he's, no, they still have to like find him when fights break out. Like you're supposed to be like this really super powered vampire. The master is gone. Just date Buffy and help her fight people. Like, have her back. Like, don't you want her to be safe and live? Like,
I wish.
Xander and Willow and Giles are willing to like die for Buffy. Angel's like, maybe.
I'll hang out in the shadows. It'll be fun.
I'll give her some information. They do something in the scene too where they introduce that mace on the table that never comes into play.
Yeah. Yeah, Willow's like, why do they call this a mace? And I was like, why are you bringing this up? I know that it was like to distract from the 400 girls comment.
Yeah, but then they cut to a close-up of the mace, and I'm like, okay, this is definitely going to pay off somehow, right?
Yeah, Chekhov's mace.
Yeah. And I'm like, I can't wait to see a vampire get hit with that.
Nope, you didn't get to see it today, Vance.
Nope. It's one of those setups for later. Willow just keeps asking, what is this mace here for?
Yeah, maybe that will just become like Willow's signature weapon or something.
Yes.
So then we cut to Drusilla with a bunch of porcelain dolls being creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Sheila is in their vampire lair and she's tied up. And Spike keeps being like, you need to eat something. And he points over. He's like head nodding over to Sheila. And then they're like about to make out or hook up or something.
Do you think they're related?
No. No, Drusilla, no.
Okay.
I think they're just like old vampire lovers or something.
All right.
But the other vampires are getting prepared for St. Vich's Day. And they're all like chanting. And Spike is even like, man, this is lame as shit.
Yeah, Drusilla's like, hey, you should go up there and be part of the group, I guess.
And he's like, all right, I'll go with the chanty chanters. You need to eat something, though.
It's like Sons of Anarchy. He's got his own room or something. Like, how does he have this room?
I don't know. This vampire gang has like rented out a warehouse.
I feel like it's the same. Yeah.
So then Drusilla eats or feeds on Sheila. Then we cut to the gang and Jenny Calendar. They're all making weapons because they heard about St. Vich's Day and they're getting prepared. They're all making all these wooden spikes. Cordelia's there. They're making weapons. Buffy has a giant sword and she's chopping cucumbers.
Yeah, she has. It's the worst visual joke. She has like a machete and then all of a sudden it comes down and she's chopping up cucumbers with it, which would be the most awkward tool to use for that. And I get it's supposed to be like a funny joke. But
yeah, because she has to get ready for the parent-teacher conference, Vance.
Yeah.
So then they're talking about the St. Vich's Day, which is happening this Saturday. And then Xander says, man, remember when Saturday nights used to be like date night? And then Cordelia goes, you sure don't. It's like, damn. So yeah, they're getting prepared. Buffy makes she's had to like get punch or something. She makes lemonade and it's bad.
Yeah, they're all making weapons, and then she's like, "Oh, I gotta get the punch." They're like, "Oh, can I help?" And she's like, "No, I got it." And I'm like, "What?
Yeah,
what is happening? Someone else do the juice." Like,
yeah, these scenes and transitions are like really weird. Like the next thing we did is like Buffy's at the parent-teacher conference, and
which is in the middle of the hallway.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't understand what's happening.
Yeah.
But she has made some lemonade, and it's bad lemonade. And then her mom arrives.
Well, she doesn't put sugar in it because I guess Buffy has never had lemonade before in her life.
I don't know. It's just lemon water. But it looks like lemonade. It's like yellow.
Yeah, but if you don't put sugar in lemonade, it's tart. That's it. It's like undrinkable.
Yeah, it's terrible. Because Willow takes a drink of it. And she's like, oh, God.
And before this, is this when Cordelia says the line that slaves at least got minimum wage?
Yeah.
My God, she's so awful.
I try to block out some of the Cordelia stuff that was going on. She like made one steak and she was like, okay, I did it. I'm done. I'm out of here.
I really thought she was going to fit in with the group a different... Like, I wanted her to have her little remarks and be a genuinely a funny bad person. But now she's like not even helpful.
Well, it's like, I don't know about you, Vance, but if I found out that vampires are in my town, almost always threatening to kill me, and I've been kidnapped by them like 2 or 3 times, I'm making like 1,000 spikes, and I'm not leaving Buffy's side. Yeah. I am with that gang always.
Yeah, I mean, I might make some comments. Like she comments on she sees Buffy's mom and she's like, oh, wow, she has great skin. She knows how to moisturize. You haven't learned that yet. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You also know Buffy could punch your head off.
Yeah, like you saw Buffy like toss humans around like they're rag dolls. You're like, Buffy, you're ugly.
Yeah, I was like, what are you doing?
Didn't Buffy save your life?
Like 8 times already? Jeez.
Zero thankfulness.
Imagine what's possible when learning doesn't get in the way of life. At Capella University, our game-changing FlexPath learning format lets you set your own deadlines so you can learn at a time and pace that works for you. It's an education you can tailor to your schedule. That means you don't have to put your life on hold to pursue your professional goals. Instead, enjoy learning your way and earn your degree without missing a beat. A different future is closer than you think with Capella University. Learn more at capella.edu.
So, you want to be a marketer. It's easy. You just have to score a ton of leads and figure out a way to turn them all into customers. Plus, manage a dozen channels, write 1 million blogs, and launch 100 campaigns all at once. When that's done, simply make your socials go viral and bring in record profits. No sweat. Okay, fine. It's a lot of sweat. But with HubSpot's AI-powered marketing tools, launching benchmark-breaking campaigns is easier than ever. Get started at HubSpot.com/marketers.
But yeah, then Buffy's mom arrives, and she's trying to make her mom avoid the principal, who's like wandering around looking specifically for Buffy's mom. Willow shows her the school, and dude, this is when Cordelia comes out of the library and she's like yelling about she's like, look, I made so many weapons. There's so many vampires. I'm fucking done with it. Like there's like 50 adults around. And eventually the principal finds Buffy's mom. And he's like, I need to talk to you, lady. So Giles finally finds out some info about Spike, who is actually named William the Bloody or something.
Yeah, William the Bloody, because he killed people with railroad spikes.
Yeah. And he's like, oh no, maybe Buffy should run away. And everyone's like, why? He's like, well, he's killed at least 2 slayers in the past. And everyone's like, oh shit. The principal comes back with Buffy's mom. He gives Buffy like a kind of like a wink.
Seems like they just slept together.
Yeah.
It has that vibe.
Yeah.
It has that vibe. Like, Buffy, don't worry, your grades are fine now.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, your mom, she's what a woman.
Yeah.
Anyway.
He's got that Forrest Gump vibe in the beginning. Yeah.
So he gives Buffy the wink, and then he like skips away basically. And Buffy's mom is like, Buffy, in the car now. So Buffy's in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of vampires arrive at the same time. Like 7 to 10 vampires show up. Spike's leading them. They break in. Oh, but before this, for some reason, the parent-teacher conference is still going on. There's still like 50 people in this hallway. The principal like shuts off all of the lights. Do you remember that?
What was happening there? Because it's not over. It is winding down a bit, but people are still there.
Yeah,
like,
there's a lot of people there.
Yeah.
He's like tossing a book around because he's so happy that he got to like shit on Buffy to her mom.
Did
and
he
he's
shit on
shutting
Buffy?
the lights off. I think so because Buffy's mom was mad.
But then the ending is different. She asks what he said, and she says, mostly positive stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. The ending does a lot of little flips, I think.
See, I thought the ending was like the mom was like, I don't really care what he said. I know that you're like a good person and I believe in you more than the principal or whatever. That's how I thought it happened.
Just don't disappoint me again.
Yeah. I don't want to start a new business. I was a secretary, now I'm a curator. Who knows? I'll be a cop next time.
Yeah. Oh, the plight of her just starting a new business really easily somehow.
Yeah. So yeah, the vampires bust in. They break a giant like bay window and jump through it, and they're like, we're gonna kill everybody. Buffy hides everybody in like separate rooms. He's like, everybody hide.
Yeah, and we have to say Spike is leading this crew, and he's like, I couldn't wait till Saturday, which we don't know what Saturday was actually supposed to be.
Yeah, St. Fitch's Day, fan.
Yeah. It's like their Vampires Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spike, some old guy is there and another vampire has him, and then Spike goes up to him and he's like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm more of a veal person, so I don't want to eat you. And the old guy's like, oh, thank God. And then Spike just snaps his neck and he goes, but I will kill you, though. I'll still kill you.
And the other vampire that he's with looks stunned. He looks shocked that like a vampire killed a person. Like, what are you talking about?
I think he was more like the vampire was looking at Spike as if he like threw away a full plate of food. That's why I was shocked. He's like, come on, man.
Dude, there's so much food in this town.
I know.
Like, there's so many people in the world. Like, vampires are fine.
Also, just because he snapped his neck, can't they still drink his blood?
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. He'll still drink his blood.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Angel does. Angel drinks donated blood. I don't know who's donating blood in this town.
So yeah, Spike kills that old guy. Giles is with Xander in the library, and he's like, hey, there's a tunnel way under the stacks. Since when?
And why are you all not using it?
Yes. How is this the first time we've heard about this?
Why does Miss Calendar have to stay?
I don't know.
Like if I'm Giles, I'm like, hey, you get out of here. And then she has to do the like, no, I'm going to stay with you. And I'd be like, no, get out. And she'd stay. Yeah. But at least you have that conversation. Yeah. At least. Don't go, Xander, you go get Angel.
Yeah. He's making Xander run out through this weird tunnel way to go fetch Angel to help them fight.
He's got to go through the hole that the Hellmouth created underneath the library.
Basically. In the room where the principal is with the mom, the principal's like, these guys, their faces were all messed up. They're all crazy. This is a gang of PCP users. It's a PCP gang. Yeah. Which comes into play later, which we need to talk about that later.
We have to talk about that
So then he's like, well, let's climb out the windows. We all got to get out of here. And Buffy's like, no, do not leave. These people are crazy. They will kill you if you try to leave. I'm going to go try and like figure something out, but you all need to stay where you are. And then the principal's like, who do you think you are? Mm-hmm. I'm the principal. And Buffy's like, you don't know anything about anything. I'll figure it out. Mom, I'm going to figure this out. Everybody stay put. So then Buffy leaves.
I really thought she was going to do like a super jump up to the ceiling and everyone was going to be like, oh, she's different.
Yeah.
Like the mom mentions like, I know you can fight a little, which isn't her backstory. It's the unaired pilot backstory.
It was kind of in her like permanent record.
Oh,
like she burned down the gym, which was the big one, but she was in fights.
Who was she fighting in school?
I guess Cordelia. Like that school's equivalent of Cordelia.
She has never once tried to hit this Cordelia.
I guess she learned her lesson.
I feel like she was fighting vampires, and I'm like, you keep fighting people, and they keep disappearing.
So Buffy climbs up into the rafters, and then Spike's walking around. He's like, "Where are you, Slayer?" He's walking around the hallways. He's pretty threatening. Buffy's climbing around in the rafters.
Air ducts. I wouldn't call these rafters. These are some diehard level air ducts. Like
Giles is
3 people in them.
Giles is in the library with Miss Calendar. He's like, I gotta go save Buffy. I'm the Watcher. I'm responsible for her. And Miss Calendar's like, you don't need to do that, or let me go with you. And he's like, no, you stay here. I can't bear losing you, or whatever.
But you have to stay in the library. You couldn't have left with Xander.
Yeah. Buffy busts out of the ceiling. Just bursts like a bunch of cloud of dust. Asbestos comes flying down. Mm-hmm. She's like, whew, that was crazy. Gathers up some weapons, and then Giles is like, all right, let's go kill these guys or whatever. Buffy goes back up into the ceiling. The mom and the principal are in the other room, and they're arguing. The principal's like, I'm getting out of here. Screw your daughter. And the mom is like, hey, I trust my daughter. We should all stay here. And then the principal and some other teacher are like, we're busting out of here. The one teacher that's in the room with them climbs out the window, immediately dies.
Yep.
Like, immediately gets his head, like, sawn off, and then the principal looks like, oh shit, and then just closes the window.
Yeah, they close the aluminum siding that they've been ripping apart, and the window that looks like it can't close. I'm like, why are the vampires not getting in there? Like, there's nothing to stop them.
I'll tell you why the other people aren't getting in there. The vampires are all inside, just kicking doors. Like, they're all of them are just kicking the doors.
I wanted to bring this up because it's so insane that we've watched people fall through ceilings. We watched Cordelia drive through the school, and now all of a sudden these doors are reinforced.
Yeah. Like, there's some doors that have 2 vampires kicking the door at the same time, and it just cannot open.
We've seen Buffy punch a hole through a door to unlock it.
Yeah.
Like, these vampires are just pathetic. They have an axe. They get an axe and they're still working away at it.
Well, yeah, they the guy is like kicking the door, and Spike is like, what are you fucking doing, dude? And he's like, we're trying to open the door. He's like, use your head. And then slams his head into the break-in case of emergency glass, takes the axe out and gives it to him. And the guy's like, oh yeah, this is a better idea.
It'd be funny if you start using the back of the axe to hit the door with it. Did your school have that type of axe?
No.
I mean, it is high level weaponry.
It's like a 4-foot long axe.
Yeah.
Like, it's huge.
Yeah.
And so then that vampire starts like Jack Nicholson shining that door that the mom and the principal are in.
Going through the window that is really easy to go through outside, that the one vampire has obviously seen people climb out of. Spike is smart. The other vampires are living up to their dumb nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we get a scene of Xander and Angel arriving, and Xander's like, so what's the plan? And then Angel is like, grabs him by the neck and like starts choking him. And I was like, whoa, what the hell is the plan?
Yeah.
So Spike starts to hear Buffy rustling around in the ceiling, and he's like, I think someone's in the ceiling. And then, super fucking smart guy he is, gets a bunch of like spikes and starts stabbing through the ceiling. And I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Great thinking.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a... I love that he just burst in and said, fuck it.
Yeah.
Like, no, like, I feel like everyone has to know vampires exist if Spike has been running around the world. Like,
right?
Because he's obviously they're not trying to keep anything on the low.
No. He is like loud and brash, and it's awesome.
Vampire walking through here. Like, you might as well just be screaming that.
Yeah. So Buffy drops out of the ceiling again, somewhere very far from where Spike thought that he heard her. Stabs a vampire. Then Sheila shows up, and Buffy's like, "Oh, thank God you're here. Where have you been? There's a bunch of dudes running around here, and they're trying to kill us." And we're like, "Oh man, Sheila's a vampire. We all know that this is going to end poorly for Buffy."
And Buffy's not really smart here because she's like, "Hey, there's some guy trying to kill us," and Sheila grabs the axe and goes, "Awesome."
Yeah,
that's psychopath level.
Yeah, that's when you go, "I'll take that axe
from you." Yeah, you should just go.
Yeah. But instead, Buffy's walking around with her wooden spike and or stake, and she's about to go stab another vampire, and then Sheila starts to take a swing at her. Oh wait, no, hold on. This is before all of this. I skipped ahead a little bit. So Spike is doing something, and then Angel shows up with Xander, like, as his hostage. And Spike's like, "Angelus?" And he's like, "Hey, what's up, Spike?"
Yeah, they start broing out. It's so funny. They start
broing out so hard. It's like, man, it's been like 150 years. Where have you been?
Yeah.
And they're like, "Remember when we killed all those people?" And Angel's like, yeah, that was pretty rad. Anyway, I got this guy. You want to eat him? And Spike's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I'm down to eat." And then Angel's like, "All right, cool. Let's just take it." And then Xander's like, "I knew you were a son of a bitch, Angel. I knew it."
Yeah. And yeah, because Angel starts talking about doing. He was like, "Oh yeah, I got close to Buffy, but then I just played the whole like, oh, I'm just so mopey." And he's like, "Oh, it worked." Like he's basically telling him that he put on an act. Yeah.
Yeah, and Spike is like, "Man, they still are falling for that act." And Angel's like, "Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, man. They're stupid."
And I really want that to be true.
Oh, I would love if that was true.
Yeah.
We know it's not because Angel gets his own show.
Maybe that's like what it is. Angel's just on a menace.
So, yeah, he is using Xander as like a captive. Then we cut back to Sheila with the axe, and she swings it at Buffy. But then we cut back to Spike and Angel, and Spike's kind of like seeing through the ruse. He's wise to Angel's act, and he's like, "Well, let's go. Let's take a drink to this or whatever. Like, let's drink to killing the Slayer." And then they both lean down to like eat Xander, and then Spike just punches him in the face. He's like, "I know you're not on my side, you piece of shit."
Yeah, this one they bring it up later in the episode, but I was also wondering what Angel's plan was here.
Yeah, I don't know.
And his plan was basically to let Xander get bit.
Yeah.
Like,
you know, I mean, he's jealous of Xander. If Xander's out of the picture,
I know.
Buffy's his.
If you're Xander, you're like, I might have to kill this guy because he was really about to let me get drained.
Yeah.
Like, legit. There was no backup plan. That wasn't like, oh, if he bites you, your neck's full of holy water or something. There was no trick.
No. So yeah, Spike is like, "Dude, you think I didn't see through this? I can't believe you're siding with the humans. You're an Uncle Tom."
Oh my God. He calls him an Uncle Tom. He calls him, he's like, "Oh, you were my Yoda. You were my sire. You were my Yoda. You're an Uncle Tom. You're a sellout." He goes in hard on Angel.
Yeah. Then Buffy shows up, and she and Spike start fighting.
Wait, can we go back to the Buffy Sheila thing?
Sure.
Who warned her that Sheila's got the axe and she's behind Buffy? Who warned her that someone calls out that Sheila has an axe? Was it Giles? Was it someone called out get her to turn around?
I don't quite remember. I just saw that, like, I just have in my notes that she swings the axe. Buffy somehow avoids it and then stabs a vampire at the same time.
Yeah, someone calls it out. And I think it might be Giles or something. But then, like, she, like, blocks the axe. And then the girl just runs away. Sheila just runs away.
Yeah. She's got to be in the next episode or whatever.
Well, Sheila has been set up. I wanted to bring this up because Sheila has been set up from the beginning of this episode. Mm-hmm. She gets turned by Spike's girlfriend, lover, person. And then disappears again.
Yeah.
Like, we already know she was a bad egg to begin with. And now she's a vampire. So she's got levels to be a threat. And I'm like, man, you let her go. There's a lot of people, like, in this episode, there's a lot of vampires that are dangerous still on the loose.
Yeah, they're just letting them go, too.
Yeah.
Like Buffy let Spike go twice.
Like, I don't think she had much of a choice in this one, the last one.
All right. But yeah, so Buffy and Spike are fighting. Xander's fighting vampire. Angel's fighting vampires. Then Buffy and Spike are like really going at it. And it looks like Spike's got Buffy cornered. And then Buffy's mom hits Spike with the axe.
In the weirdest way possible?
Yeah, like she hit him with the broadside of the axe.
Yeah. What are you doing?
I guess she didn't want to kill him.
He's literally about to kill your daughter.
Yeah.
I don't think you got time to be like, how do I do a non-lethal blow here?
Incapacitate a PCP guy.
Yeah.
Who, in her mind, a PCP user.
Who these people have killed multiple people already.
Oh, yeah. There's a guy with his neck snapped like 2 feet to the left of Buffy's mom. She's like, maybe he's just on PCP.
And when Buffy goes to school and she comes back home, she's like, yeah, I'm just having problems at school. Will the mom eventually like go, oh, yeah, that one time in school, a bunch of people died and was attacked. Like, maybe you're going through some stuff. And it's
also like, maybe this isn't a good school.
Yeah, maybe this isn't a good town.
Yeah, like students end up dead at the school constantly. I was involved with like a quote unquote PCP gang violence, breaking through windows, people being killed.
Yeah.
Like, at what point is it Buffy's fault? You know, like, why is it still being put on Buffy? Like, this is a failure of the school system at this point.
This is a failure of the town, the mayor, the police.
Yeah.
There's so much crime.
So Buffy's mom hits Spike with the broadside of the axe. Spike falls down, and then he looks up at him and goes, "Women," and then just scurries off into the night. Buffy's mom is like, "Nobody touches my daughter." And he looks at her and he's like, "Ugh, women."
Yeah, the mom gets a real hero moment here, which is kind of nice, I guess.
I guess so. And then, like, her and her mom, like, hug and all that shit. And then cops arrive. Principal and the cop have a conversation. And the cop is like, "So what happened? There's a guy that's dead in there. Like, what am I going to say? How do I explain this to people?" And the principal, like, looking over his shoulders. And he's like, "Oh, no, tell him it was a PCP gang." And then the cop goes, "Oh, the old PCP gang again, huh? All right." I was like, what is the backstory here?
Yeah, and this gets more confusing because the guy, they were like, "Oh, we found a guy dead outside the school." And he was like, "I told him not to go out that window." Like, even though the principal was the one trying to get out the window. But then at the end, that last part makes it seem like he knows about vampires and it's a big cover up.
Yeah.
But if he knows that, why was he even trying to get out of the window at that point? Or was he just trying to escape because he knows they're vampires?
Well, it's also like, if he doesn't know they're vampires, why is he trying to cover this up anyway?
Yeah, like covering up the window thing.
I don't understand what the principal's motivations are here. Maybe it's something that, like, this is a hint towards something in the future with him.
Well, I definitely feel like he knows what's going on in the town. And he knows there's weird stuff. And he's in cahoots with the police to cover this up. Why they cover it up? I don't know. What do they think? There's going to be panic and all the parents are going to go to the town hall meeting or something? Like what would happen if everyone found out that vampires existed in this town?
Do you think the principal is some kind of like secret operative, like government official that's like he's been sent to this town to like investigate the crimes?
Oh, he might be like one of the X-Files people.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would make sense because he took a job where a principal was eaten.
Yeah, absolutely. And it would make sense because he also hates children.
Yeah.
Like maybe we're onto something with that.
I mean, they're setting it up. I mean, that whole end scene is definitely setting up that he's a bigger part of something.
Yeah. So then Angel and Xander are debriefing about what happened, and Xander's like, "So what would have happened if Spike bit me?" And Angel's like, "Well, he didn't." He's like, "Yeah, but what would have happened?" He's like, "I guess you would have gotten bit."
Yeah, he's like, "Yeah, he would have. That would have meant he believed my story." And I was like, "All right."
It's like, damn, Angel, it's fucking ruthless.
Like, Xander, I don't know, man. You might want to just hit him with a cross right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't hang out with that guy anymore, you know? Then Buffy and her mom are debriefing, and the mom is like, "I don't care what they say about you. You're my daughter, and blah, blah, blah. I care about you, and I believe in you, blah, blah, blah."
Yeah, she like stands up against the principal and says Buffy can handle herself or something like that. And
yeah. Willow and Cordelia are still hiding in the closet that Buffy put them in.
Oh yeah,
at the beginning of the raid.
About them.
Yeah, they're still like trapped in the school, thinking that the vampires are around, but everything's over. So they're just like, "Well, guys, is anybody coming to help us?"
That is so weird too, because when Buffy falls through the window into the library, she goes, "Oh, and Willow and Cordelia, they went, I don't know." You know, like she says, like she doesn't know where they went. But there's no concern at the end of where Willow is.
Nope.
Xander, who was like, "If anything happens to Willow, I will kill you, Buffy."
Yeah.
Nope. No one cares where the two of them are.
Well, Xander also has some kind of saying about that in this episode too. I think it's to Giles, where he's like, "We have to make sure Willow and Buffy are safe," or like, "If they're in danger, I'll kill everyone." It's like, what are you gonna do, Xander?
Yeah, Xander's he's got teenage boy invincibility.
I hope so. I hope that he does something badass.
I mean, he already has. He brought Buffy back to life.
That's true, I guess.
He saved Cordelia last episode, right?
Oh, he did.
Yeah,
he did.
He's getting his action moments.
All right. So then Spike is debriefing with Drusilla, and he's basically like, "I met the Slayer, and she hurt me." And Drusilla's like, "No, not the Slayer. I can't believe she hurt you." And he's like, "Oh, I better go make nice with the Anointed One because I didn't kill her." And he goes up to the Anointed One, and he gets on his knee and like, "Sorry, dude, I didn't kill the Slayer." And the Anointed One's like, "You failed me. I can't believe you. You were all this talk and you didn't do it." And then Spike stands up and he's like, "You know what? Fuck you, dude." Like, grabs the Anointed One, throws him in a cage, lifts him up into the sunlight, and kills the Anointed One. And he's like, "We're going to start having a lot more fun around here, everybody."
Yeah, he's like, no more of this like tradition stuff and all this what was the word he used? Pageantry or whatever.
Yeah. But we just get like a shot of the cage that he put the Anointed One in, and it's just like smoke. And I was confused. I was like, what happened? What happened to the Anointed One? But then I saw on Wikipedia here that he put him in the sunlight and it killed him.
Oh, you didn't realize he put him in the sun?
No, because like none of them should be walking around in the sun right now.
Well, there was like a beam of light coming in. I still think the Anointed One, when he's in the sun, there should be a lot more screams and noise. And I wonder if the censors were like, "Hey, we need to tone this down because it's a kid and we don't need him like screaming terribly." But what a game changer and what a great reset. Like,
well, I was going to say, like, all of that Anointed One build up and stuff, and Spike is just like, "Nah, that was dumb."
Yeah, they're like, this wasn't working. We had nowhere to go with it.
Yeah. Anyway, here's Spike. He's so much more badass than everyone else that has shown up in the show.
I think it would have been cool. I know they wanted, I don't know exactly what happened with this actor. Maybe they weren't working with the kid well. Who knows what prompted this move, right? I just wish they would have had the Anointed One do something to validate him being the Anointed One even before he goes out. Like if we saw him like kill Drusilla and then that happened, it'd be like, okay, he's a badass. Like just have the Anointed One walk around. Like the most he's ever had was like, I would annihilate her or I hate that girl. But like he hasn't even interacted with Buffy more than hold her hand.
Yeah, no. The Anointed One sucks. He does nothing.
So it's fine. I'm really happy they got rid of him. But I would have loved to, if he just got one scene that would have made the first season at least worth it.
Okay, so I just got some, I just did a little bit of research here. So Joss Whedon originally said that the plan was to have the Anointed One as like the big bad for season 2. Mm-hmm. But the plans were changed because actor Andrew J. Furchland, who is the Anointed One, was still growing and would not be believable as a perpetual child for very long. So he saw that he was like, oh, this kid's growing up pretty quick. Kill him anyway.
That's so dumb. That's such a dumb reason to not use him. Like that seems like an excuse. Because
he still looked really young.
He's the Anointed One. He's some supernatural being. Like if he started growing up during the season, it would look even weirder. It would actually be kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Like that seems like a convenient excuse for me.
Also, the quote that you were looking for from Spike was, he said, from now on, we're going to have a little less ritual and a little more fun around here. And I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Spike rules.
That is the reset they needed, and it works. I mean, it's just, once he burnt that guy, I was like, that's a badass move. He's taking over.
Yeah, dude, once I saw him with that plan to be like, oh no, there's somebody outside that's going to bite a girl in order to find out who the Slayer was, I was like, this guy's smart. He's the smartest vampire we've seen.
I didn't think he was doing that to find out who she was. I think he did that to see how good she was. That's
okay.
That was my thing.
Either way, genius plan. Love Spike. Great reset. Good villain.
I'm intrigued to see how, I think he lasts a pretty long time in this show, and I'm interested to see how that happens.
I mean, he absolutely does last a very long time in this show because people love him, and like he's at least multiple seasons probably.
Yeah.
Maybe he turns into a good guy too.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, he probably does just because, but man, he seems real anti-good in this one.
Yeah. I mean, Angel used to be a bad guy.
But he has a voodoo curse on him that gave him a soul.
I don't think that we're going to figure out anything more about Spike in the next episode, though, because the next episode is titled Inca Mummy Girl.
Yep. No need to make prediction on this. We got a mummy.
It's a mummy.
All right, I got a question. What do you think? We got a mummy. She's going to come to life. What do you think the mummy wants?
A young body.
Is that how mummies
she wants to take over? I don't know.
We need a Willow episode, I feel like. Let's do it.
Yeah, she's going to kidnap Willow because Willow has some kind of knowledge or she's got some kind of pendant or something.
Oh my God. The episode opens with Willow like studying ancient like Egyptian.
Oh, you know that's what's going to happen. You know that's what's going to happen, dude. Oh man, you know if it doesn't happen, I'm going to be so disappointed. So yeah, that's the episode for School Hard. Great introduction, great introduction to Spike. Great episode.
Spike has a great last line. Spike's got a great last line of this episode too. Let's go see what's on TV.
Yeah. He's fantastic.
Yeah. It sucks that we might not see him next episode.
Well, he also killed all of the previous vampires, so he's doing like a whole gang reset.
Well, he didn't kill everybody. He didn't even kill the one guy he walked away from. That guy's just lying on the ground.
Really? I thought that guy was dead.
No, if a vampire dies, they disappear.
No, that is true. Anyway, so yeah, thanks for listening, everybody. Appreciate it. Follow us on Instagram at BoysWatchingBuffy. Email in BoysWatchingBuffy@gmail.com. And stay tuned for our next episode when we talk about Inca Mummy Girl.
You were my sire, man. You were my Yoda.
Tune into the Salsa Kings Network. Crack one open if you dare, creeps.